Hello, beautiful yogis. Thank you for joining me today. We're going to be focusing today's flow a little bit more on the lower body. So stretching out through our legs, our glutes, and our hips, but we'll incorporate a few different full body movements as well. For today's class, you are going to need one prop, which is a ball. I recommend having something without the spikes on it. I find that a little bit more comfortable, but if you've only got a spiky ball at home, that is completely okay. So to get started, we're going to be making our way down into a comfortable position laying on our backs. And we're going to have our ball nearby so that it's within arm's reach. So just popping that down, taking your time to land on your mat. If you do need more props and things to help you get comfortable, a few suggestions: you might need a pillow underneath your head and neck. You might need to bend your knees instead of having them straight, or you might need a bolster underneath your knees, whatever's most comfortable for you. So taking a little while just to get nice and comfortable on your mat. Your arms can relax either onto your belly or down by your sides or maybe out wide. Just finding whatever feels easeful in your shoulders, your spine, and your legs. And now very gently bringing your attention in towards your breathing. Let's see if you can slow it down a little bit, making the inhales a little longer, and the exhales a little longer. Just playing with that gentle feeling of making the breath smooth. And then maybe we're going to find a little pause of our breath at the top and a little pause of our breath at the bottom. So if we can, all together taking an inhale through the nose. When you reach the top of your inhale, take a little pause and hold your breath. And then exhaling it all out, either through your nose or your mouth. And taking a little natural pause at the bottom of your breath. And just finding this gentle flow of your breath in your own tempo. A little pause at the top of your inhalation. And a little pause at the bottom of your exhalation. And we'll continue moving with that same little pause at the top of the inhale, but maybe noticing how your belly expands on that inhale. And continuing with the pause at the bottom of your exhale, seeing if you can soften your shoulders down a little more here on the exhale. So as we continue to flow with our breathing, with those little pauses at the top and the bottom, in those moments of the pause, can you internalize your sensations a little more, noticing how the body is moving and responding with your breath? And maybe utilizing those pauses to enhance your experience. So really relaxing and letting go on the exhales. And trying to see if you can expand through your belly, through your ribs a little more on the inhales. We'll take 3 more just like that. Pause doesn't have to be very long. It's whatever feels most natural for you. This is your own practice. When you've finished your third exhale with the pause, it's allowing your breath to return to normal now. Maybe blinking open the eyes if that feels comfortable, or maybe remaining with the eyes closed. With our knees bent and our feet flat on the mat, we're going to gently walk our feet a little bit wider to roughly the width of your yoga mat. And the invitation to take your hands onto your hip sockets if that feels comfortable, otherwise wherever you feel most relaxed in your arms. And gently we're going to windscreen wiper the knees right to left. And just tuning into those sensations through the sides of the thighs, the inner and the outer, really allowing this to be a gentle massage of your hip sockets here, moving your femur, your thigh bone, in your acetabulum, your hip socket. Maybe it feels nice to synchronize your breathing with this movement. Maybe an inhale through the center and an exhale off to the side. Maybe just focusing on the physical sensations of your legs moving. You might even be able to get a little stretch through your back here. We'll make sure we even this up on the right and the left side. So if you started to the right, make sure you head over to the left and vice versa. And then drawing the knees back to center. We'll walk the feet back in line with our hips now, so parallel to our body. And then we're going to find our little ball that we've placed somewhere previously. And we're going to gently use this to release through our glute muscles. So we're going to be popping it underneath our right glute to get started, and probably heading right into the center of your glutes. Now, there is a lot of nuance in this. It really depends on the person and where we're holding our tension. But in general, let's just start right in the center of your glute, so your right hand side of your body. And then gently we're going to allow the right knee to drop in and out. Now, usually you'll be able to feel a bit of tension here, but if you're not quite in the right spot, you might just wiggle your hips over to the side, or you might move the ball a little bit more lateral, so towards the outside of your right hip. And maybe we're staying with keeping that knee moving in and out, or if you'd prefer, you might lift the leg up off the ground, or you might even move your hips a little right to left. So it's up to you and whatever feels best for your body. You never want to be feeling any painful sensations, but like a deep bruisey ache is kind of how I would describe a trigger point sensation. But again, we're always staying within our own levels of capacity. If this is new for you, then I'd recommend starting very light. And even if you're not getting any sensation, just learning how to move our body, how to use this trigger point ball. Make sure you're breathing the whole time. The moment we're holding our breath, our body starts to sense danger and starts to tense up. So really focusing on your breathing here. You might move the ball into a few more spots here, so it might be working all the way out to the sort of outer edge of your glute. But if you know those spots that get a little sore and achy, just intuitively heading into those spots. Beautiful. We'll take 4 more breaths here. Maybe you're sinking a lot more weight into the ball now that you can feel those different spots a little better. Beautiful. And then we'll take the ball out from underneath your right glute. We'll pop it off to the side again within arm's reach. And we're going to extend the right leg up high in the sky. Let's give the ankle a little bit of movement here through maybe some circling or some points and flexes of the feet. Then we're going to take this right foot, we're going to pop it on top of the left knee into our figure 4 position. Now from here, we might just gently rock the legs right to left. If you're wanting a little bit more of a stretch, then we'll lift the left leg up off the ground. Right hand will go in between your legs. The left hand wraps around the outside of your leg, and this will intensify the sensation you're feeling through your right glute. You might still be taking a little bit of movement with this, or you might be staying in a static stretch. Tune into your body and your needs. And as always, we're flowing with our breath here. Making those changes to our tissue, changes to our nervous system. Take one more inhale. And then on the exhale, we'll softly let the legs land back on our mat, unraveling your legs and just coming back to your center. We'll take the ball again this time and popping it underneath your left glute. So same thing, we'll start pretty central in your left glute and then just gently allowing your left knee to drop in and out. So it's a pretty similar process to what we did on the right-hand side. So you might be lifting the knee up and down, or you might be wiggling through the hips. So pick all of those options. It can always be very interesting when we do the other side. Oftentimes the dominant side, the side that we're using the most, is the one that we say, oh, that's sore, or we're expecting sensation. But often when we head into our non-dominant side or the slightly less symptomatic side, we notice that there's actually a fair bit of tension going on through here as well. So just knowing that's normal if that's what you are experiencing. Keeping the inhales and the exhales flowing nice and gentle here. Maybe you're moving the ball to a slightly different spot now. Welcome to explore moving the ball a little bit more lateral, so out to the left, or a little bit further away from you, down towards the bottom edge of the mat. Just still keeping it in that glute tissue here. And take 3 more breaths, working through those trigger points in the left glute. Feel free to keep going for a little bit longer if you like. Whenever you are ready, we'll gently take the ball up from underneath, flipping it over to the side somewhere safe. You do not want to have that as a hazard that you might trip over, so make sure it's in a nice safe spot. And then we'll extend the left leg up high in the sky, taking a bit of movement through your ankle. Again, maybe circling or pointing and flexing, or a little combination of it all. And then our left ankle will make its way onto our right knee. And again, let's just start by rocking right to left here. And then if you would like to add on a bit more sensation, we'll lift the right leg up off the ground, coming onto our right leg, and maybe still finding that bit of a rock, or maybe more static stretching feels better for you. So just allowing this to be your own experience. Allow the shoulders to be nice and relaxed here. And take another deep inhale into the belly. On the exhale, softly floating your legs back down onto the mat. And we'll just let the knees knock in together and then taking them apart, allowing knees to roll in and out. Again, feeling into our hips here. Beautiful. And then choosing which side you'd prefer to roll onto, we're going to gently roll into a bit of a fetal position on one side. And then slowly pressing ourselves up into a seated position. We'll allow the feet to come back down onto the ground with the knees bent. And again, just taking a little bit of that windscreen wiper movement, the arms maybe behind you. If your wrists get a little tender, feel free to come down onto your elbows. And just another reminder as well, making sure that that ball is in a nice safe position for you. We're not going to accidentally fall over it. Beautiful. So we'll take both of our legs over to the right-hand side of the body and we'll take our arms with us now. So we're in a bit of a 90-90 position, as in my thigh and my shin are running parallel off to the side. But if this isn't available to you, you might use a yoga block, popping it underneath your hips, or your leg angle may change a little bit. That is all welcome here. We're not a one-size-fits-all class. And from here, just making sure we've found that comfortable position through the legs, we're going to start to walk our hands forwards a little bit. Now, this might be enough for you. You might focus on lifting your chest, keeping your spine nice and long, or you might be coming down onto your elbows, or if you do have your cushion or your bolster, you might be using that here. Allowing the head to lengthen here, softening down through the body. Finding your palms back down onto the mat will lift the chest back. We're going to see if we can do this movement without our hands, but if you need them, again, you take them behind you, allow yourself as much grace as you need. We lift the hands up off the ground if you can, otherwise tapping them back down. And we're going to bring ourselves over to the other side. Again, setting yourself back up in this 90-90-ish position. Making sure the hips feel relatively comfortable. We're going to lean forwards. Maybe this is where we're staying. Otherwise, sinking down onto the forearms. Can be interesting in these different shapes. Sometimes we might tense through the feet or through the hands. Just try to find that level of ease here. Softness. There are times where our body needs to be hard, but we're going to allow things to soften here. We don't need to fight against that resistance. Almost tuning into that level of surrender, letting go of what no longer serves you. This tension that we've been holding on to, just allowing it to melt away gently with each exhale. Bring a little bit more relaxed. On your next inhale, let's press the palms down onto the mat. Lift the chest. And let's see if we can just bring ourselves back to center without using our arms. So lifting the legs and sending them out in front. Beautiful. Arms may come back down by your sides here. Let's give the ankles a little circle around and the circle the other way. Great job. Beautiful. So we are going to be taking it into a 4-point kneel position now. So if you are managing any sort of knee issues, please feel free to cushion underneath the knees a lot more. So we'll take ourselves into our 4-point kneel position, spreading through our starfish hands here, pushing the mat away from us. We're going to allow the belly to drop down and the head to lift. And then doing the reverse, tucking the chin to chest, pressing up through our arms. The breathing here, we inhale as we drop the belly, lift the head. We exhale as we chin to chest and round up. So again, a little bit more of a lower body focus here today. So really thinking about how you can move your pelvis, your hips, your thighs here as you move through this flow. What level of connection can you feel into your pelvic floor muscles? Lovely. Beautiful. So coming into a neutral spine position here. Again, if your wrists tend to get a little bit sore being on them, you might come down onto the elbows. It's all going to be the same movement, but you have that invitation here. So we're now going to be using our right leg and our hands as our points of balance. And we're going to be working our left leg. So just to begin with, see if you can slide your left leg back away from you. Maybe just lift it up and down a few times. If you now feel like you need to adjust the position of your right leg a little bit more in between your hands in more of this tripod formation, please feel free. So from here now, we're going to bend our left knee and we're going to extend our heel up towards the sky, like we're trying to really press our foot through the ceiling. Then we're going to draw the knee out towards the left-hand side of the mat and then drawing it back in to touch the right thigh. So essentially we're drawing a little bit of a circle, but we're making sure that we're hitting those three positions here. So heel up high in the sky, knee out to the side and back in. Hopefully you're feeling a fair bit of glute activation here. That's why we wanted to work through those trigger points and knots at the start of class. And then let's reverse it. So we're going to take the knee out to the left, then get that heel up high in the sky, bring it back down to center. And that's also an opportunity for you to rest. Every time that knee comes back down, you can take a pause and then take that knee for another circle. So we've got a few more in this direction. Spine is nice and long. Really feeling that activation. And letting the left knee come back down to the ground. Let's take our knees out about the width of the yoga mat, big toes together, sink ourselves back into child's pose. Let the arms go out in front of you and give those wrists a little stretch if you need it. You might circle the wrists, you might just wiggle through the fingers. Just have a little moment without that weight being dispersed through the wrists. On your next inhale, drawing yourself back up into that 4-point kneel. We'll extend the right leg back behind us. This is where you check in with your body position. Does that left knee need to come in a little bit closer over to the right? See if you can lift that leg up off the ground. Bend through your right knee, extend your heel up towards the sky, and then take your knee out towards the right, and then bringing it back down, allowing it to touch the left leg, kicking that heel up high in the sky, out to the side, and back in. Make sure you're allowing your breath to flow here, so that constant flow of energy. You don't need to rush. Just allow yourself to move with the speed in which you can feel that activation through your glutes. We'll take one more in this direction and then changing it up, taking it out to the side, back behind you, in and through. Out to the side, back behind you, in and through. One more here. And both knees down to the ground. We'll take a different variation of child's pose this time. Knees come together, feet come together. Allow the hips to come back. And then the arms are going to come back behind you, reaching towards the ankles. If you don't like this variation, feel free to come back to the one we did before with the knees wider. Taking your arms back out in front of you now, stretching them towards the top edge of the mat. We're going to rise back and then taking ourselves into a downward facing dog shape. So we're going to tuck our toes underneath us, press through our hands, really spreading through the fingers to get as much contact with the mat as you can. And then we'll lift the hips up high into the sky. Have a little movement through your feet and ankles here. Just find what feels comfortable for you. And then we're going to walk ourselves into a bit of a forward fold here. So feet are going to come towards your wrists, hanging out in your forward fold here. You might bend your knees quite generously. You might keep them a little bit more extended. And just start to feel into that stretch through your hamstrings, through your calves. If you do need blocks or a bolster underneath your hands, you're welcome to. And then we're just going to rock our weight a little bit. So putting your weight into your heels a little bit more. See if you can lift your toes off the ground. And then popping the weight into your toes. See if you can lift your heels off the ground. So this might be a very small movement or it might be slightly bigger. But just getting a little bit more stretch into your ankles and your feet. Lovely. And then getting all points of contact of your feet with the earth. And we're going to slowly roll ourselves up to standing. So again, a slight bend of your knees here, allowing the arms to relax. And let's roll up one vertebrae at a time. Nice and slow. When you eventually do come up to standing, let's take a nice shoulder roll at the top. Beautiful. We'll find our ball again where we popped it before in that nice safe spot. We're going to roll out underneath our feet. So we'll pop our weight onto our right leg first, popping the ball underneath your left foot. And maybe you're moving right to left as you work through your foot, or maybe you're moving forwards and backwards through your foot. So just find what feels better for you. Then once you've had a fairly big scan through your foot and you've noticed where maybe a bit more tension is, you might just hold and breathe into those spots. You could play with bringing your toes up and down here. And we'll draw a bit of awareness into our standing leg, that we're not hyperextending through the knee. We've got just a gentle bend here as we're rolling through the foot. Same with the shoulders, keeping them nice and relaxed. We're not shrugging them towards the ears. Beautiful. Just a few more breaths here, working those different spots. You're doing amazing. And then before we go to the other side, let's just take both of our feet underneath us. So underneath our hips. We'll take the arms out and up high in the sky, connecting your palms and bringing them down to heart center. Relaxing your arms back down by your sides. We'll roll the body down through a spinal wave. Feeling a little bit more connected through your right foot perhaps than your left. And then rolling back up the standing with another big shoulder roll at the top. And let's take it to the other side, popping the weight onto your left leg, popping the ball under your right foot. And again, just having a bit of a scan through of all the different areas of your foot. So many different bones and muscles in the feet. So just making sure we wake up everything a little bit, we give it a bit of sensation. And then when you find the spots that give you the nicest feeling, I'm going to now work into those a little bit more. Again, the standing leg is nice and relaxed. We've got a tiny bend through of the knee and shoulders nice and relaxed here too. Remembering this practice is for you. There's a reason that you've shown up on your mat today. So just making sure your needs are being met here. You don't need to force anything. It's really working with your body, allowing this to be like a nice reward for your body. Maybe filling into a few more different spots here. After we've finished with this foot, we're going to be finished with the ball, so we can pop it up even further away so it's in a nice safe space. So whenever you're ready, we'll pop the ball back into a safe space. Whoop, again, where you're not going to trip over it. And then coming back up to standing, feeling your feet underneath you. Let's roll ourselves back down, chin to chest, rolling it down and rolling it back up. Beautiful. We'll take our legs out a little bit wider, so wider than hip distance apart. And then toes are going to be on about a 45-degree angle. So they're not facing forwards, they're not all the way out. They're somewhere in between that works for your body. We're going to take our arms out and up high in the sky again into this 5-point star position. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then we're going to sink down through our knees as we bring our elbows in towards our rib cage, sinking down into our horse pose or goddess pose. And then lengthening back up towards the sky, spreading through your fingers. On the exhale, we sink down. So this could be, again, different depths for different people. Inhale as we come, exhale as we sink down, but really working into those tissues around the thighs here. We'll take 2 more. Again, finding depth that feels the most comfortable for you. This time we're going to come down and we're going to hold. We're going to bring our hands onto the in front of our knees, and then we're going to allow one shoulder to drop forwards, pressing the knees out, feeling that stretch into the inner thighs, and then coming to the other side. Let's do this again, both sides. Beautiful. And then bring the spine back up nice and tall. Keep that bend through the knees. Take the arms back up. Hold. Start to feel that burn. Then reaching back up, extending through the knees. We'll take the arms forwards and down into a bit more of a wide-legged forward fold here. We'll walk the hands over towards our right leg, maybe giving it a little hug. We're just intensifying the sensation through the right leg. And then let's walk it over to the other leg. Bringing it back to center. Bring our hands into our hip creases. So our fingers are going to be in our hip crease and our thumbs are going to be towards our lower back. We're going to lift ourselves into a halfway lifted position. So see if you can elongate your spine, reaching your chest forwards and then coming up all the way. Beautiful. Bring your feet back underneath you. Let's give the legs a little bit of a shake, or maybe circling the ankle, working on our balance a little bit here. Lovely. And then stepping up towards the top edge of your mat again here. So coming into a nice tall Tadasana, arms down by your side, opening up through the chest, shoulders relaxed and down. Nice long tall spine. We'll inhale, the arms coming up high in the sky. Maybe arching backwards if that feels comfortable. And then we're going to relax all the way down into forward fold. Bend your knees as much as you need to until you can plant your hands down on the mat. We're going to step the right leg back and then step the left leg back. So you've got an option here for a chaturanga, or if this is all too much, just drop the knees and come into your cat-cow. So wherever you feel most comfortable, you can either lower yourself down to the mat into a little cobra and then taking yourself back, or just moving through your cat-cows here. We'll make our way back into our downward facing dog shape, pressing through the hands, lifting the hips up. And this next little movement might be a little tricky, so we'll see how we go. You can always wiggle your way here in multiple different ways. So we're going to extend our right leg up high in the sky. And then we're going to try to get this right ankle towards our right wrist. So lifting it up, use a bit of momentum to swing it forwards, or use your hand to help that foot forwards here. So feeling into the stretch in that left hip. If this isn't comfortable for you, drop that back knee straight away. Or if you need to use a wall or a prop nearby, please feel free. So whatever feels best for you, you can lower the knee or keep the knee lifted. And then let's all lower through the left knee here. Maybe we're lifting up onto the fingertips, or maybe we're lifting the hands up onto the leg. If this is still feeling comfortable, we might reach the arms up high in the sky. This is just an option. Go with what feels best for you. Or maybe it's one arm up, one arm down. Take another nice deep breath in. On the exhale, hands lower down onto the mat. We're going to shift ourselves back into a bit of a half split position here. So again, if you need to do any more propping underneath your knees, you're welcome to. So the hips have shifted back. I'm lifting my right toes up towards the sky just to get a little bit more of a stretch through this right leg. And if you're really not liking this sensation on your knees, you can be doing the same thing on your back, just drawing your right leg up towards you. So please don't force through anything. One more nice deep breath in here. On the exhale, we'll walk ourselves back into our lunge shape. A few different ways to get out of this. You might just draw your right leg all the way back around into a 4-point kneel. Otherwise, we're going to tuck our left toes underneath us. We're going to lift our left knee up off the ground, and we're going to reverse what we've done already. So we're going to step the right leg back into downward facing dog. Maybe pedal through the feet. Trust your body and what you're feeling. And then we do the other side. So left leg coming up high in the sky. Use that bit of momentum to reach the left leg forwards. We're in our lunge shape. Again, maybe we're just hanging out here, enjoying the sensation. Maybe we straight away lower the knee. You might take a little bit of movement right to left. But as always, trust the sensation. If it doesn't feel good, come out a little bit. Make it a little bit easier on yourself. And then we'll all drop our right knee. We'll see if maybe we can lift up onto the fingertips, or maybe onto the thigh, or maybe arms reaching up. There's no right or wrong here. It's just what you need today. On the next inhale, lift your chest a little higher if you can. On the exhale, hands come down. And let's shift the weight backwards into our half split here. Lifting your left toes up towards the sky, getting this nice juicy stretch along the back of the left leg here. The lower your chest is towards your thigh, the more intense the feeling. Another nice deep inhale into the belly. On the exhale, let's walk our hands forwards back into our lunge shape. And then again, maybe this left leg just swings around into 4-point kneel, or we tuck our right toes underneath us, we lift our right knee, and we step the left leg back into downward facing dog, pedaling out through the feet. Beautiful. Then from here, we'll lower the knees back down to the ground. Have a little feel through your cat-cow again here. Is everything moving and gliding a little bit more smooth now? And then we'll bring ourselves onto our sit bones, positioning ourselves more lengthwise on the mat. So legs out in front of you, make sure the space behind you is clear. And we're going to gently lower ourselves down onto the mat. So we're going to try to come vertebra through vertebra so that we're really engaging through our core muscles. But of course, if you need to use your legs here and walk yourself down, you're welcome to. Or if you would like a bit more of a challenge, you might be extending your arms up as you slowly make your way down. Taking as long as you need to get here. Then once you're here on your back, drawing knees in towards your chest and just having a little bit of a movement right to left. We'll keep working through our legs here, taking ourselves into a happy baby pose. So maybe knees just come out a little bit wider, and this is your expression of happy baby today. Otherwise, we're finding our feet in towards our hands. We're feeling the stretch through our hips, our thighs, our legs, maybe even a bit of sensation in lower back. Again, you might just hold in this static position, or we might play with bending and extending one leg or rocking a little right to left. Just be with your body here. This might be where you want to end your practice today and make your way straight into your Shavasana. Otherwise, we might just take a gentle supine twist. So we'll bring the knees and the ankles together. We'll bring the arms out by your sides and allowing your knees to gently topple over to one side, holding in your twist. Coming back through center, finding all points of your spine on the mat here, and then taking it over to the other side. Whenever you feel ready, drawing the knees back to center. We might squeeze the knees in towards the chest one more time, giving the lower body a little bit of a rock. Right to left, forwards to back. And then we're going to come into our Shavasana, so a bit of a mindfulness practice. So when you're ready, allowing your body to just relax onto the mat. So a typical Shavasana pose, your arms will come down by your side, your legs will go out long, but you might prefer to have something underneath your knees. You might prefer to have something underneath your head. So just allow yourself a little bit of time here to let your body get nice and comfortable. We'll close down the eyes, softening the jaw. Just allowing your breath to flow nice and easy, nice and natural, not needing to force or change a thing. So we're going to draw all of our awareness into our big toes, our right big toe and our left big toe. Just sending all of your attention onto your big toes. Acknowledging the sensation here. Is there a bit of warmth or heaviness? Does it feel tight or loose? We're going to send this mindfulness through all parts of our body. So starting to incorporate all of your toes now, maybe giving them a little wriggle. Can you feel all of the sensations, each one of your individual toes? And then noticing the sensation underneath your entire foot. Maybe there's certain spots that you can feel a little bit more than others. Maybe you feel a little bit more heaviness under your right ankle than your left. Feel your heel pressing into the mat a little more. Can you even that out? Just drawing balance into your system. Drawing our awareness up into our calves now. Maybe feeling the heaviness underneath your calves. Nice, relaxed, lengthened sensation. Drawing awareness into your knees. Drawing your awareness into your thighs and into your hips, your glutes, your hip sockets. Allowing that awareness to rise up into your belly and your lower back. Feeling it move upwards into your chest and your upper back. Allowing yourself the time to feel all of those little sensations. Allowing that sense of peace and calm to flow with you as you draw your awareness into your shoulders. Moving into your arms, your elbows, into your forearms and your wrists. Gently noticing the sensation through your palms, through each one of your fingers and your thumbs. On your next inhale, feeling into your throat and your neck. And then moving all the way up into your face, your ears, your head. Allowing yourself to become completely present and focused inward on your body. On these next few breaths now, just allowing your awareness to become open to whatever comes. We don't need to have a focus here, just allowing your mind to wander, to be free and relaxed. And taking a few moments here, just in gentle stillness and silence, just to be with yourself. And in your own time, we're going to allow the body a little bit of unique movement. So there's no specific way now to move your body. Just getting really curious and allowing yourself some little enlivening movements, maybe at the fingers and the toes to begin with. And just allowing yourself to explore a little bit of movement in your own way. And then gently, I'm going to offer you the invitation of coming up into a seat to close your practice. But that might not be where you want to go. So please feel free to stay here. But just know that invitation is here for you if that aligns today. If you are going to come up into a seat, I always suggest rolling into a fetal position first. Just taking it nice and easy. Allowing yourself any nurturing movements that feel best for you. Then closing our beautiful practice together today. All the beautiful work that we've done on the mat, connecting ourselves in a little bit deeper to our sense of self, into our bodies and how they move. If you'd like to join me whenever you are ready, we'll take an inhalation, drawing the arms out and up high in the sky, drawing your beautiful hands into your heart center. the love and the light within me honors and shines, and the love and the light in each and every one of you. Namaste, my loves. Thank you so much for your time to join me today. I really appreciate your energy and your presence. Have a wonderful day.